Well, hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and I am here with your Hammers headlines for today, run in association, as always, with the brilliant KUMB.com. There's a lot happening in the world of West Ham. The transfer window rumours are in full force. The away kit is expected to be officially revealed tomorrow. It's all happening, and we are here for it. It's rude to keep you waiting. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into your headlines. For today's first story, it's rumoured that personal terms have been agreed for Borges as the deal continues to edge closer. Negotiations are set to continue and are not yet completed, but they certainly sound as though they're moving in the right direction. After many sources, including Fabrizio Romano, have reported that a £14 million fee has been agreed. Make sure you check out Anton's video from yesterday if you haven't already for a more in-depth look at what the 19-year-old winger could bring to West Ham. To summarise, his stats look incredible. He's strong, he's pacey, technical, and he loves a goal, having scored 21 times and got 11 assists in 24 Premier League 2 games, which is obviously fantastic stats-wise. But is he actually one for the starting lineup? We could push Benny more central and allow Borges to make the position his own, should he prove that he's ready for the Premier League. There are a lot of ways that he could potentially fit into the team. Would he be a squad player at the beginning? That is what would remain to be seen. There's also the buyback clause that Man City typically put in. But while this does sound somewhat alarming and is something that you wouldn't ideally have in a transfer, there probably isn't too much to worry about. And the reason for this is City rarely activate that buyback clause. For example, they haven't activated the clause for Lavia as of yet. And they also had the option for Jadon Sancho, but let him join Man United. So just because a player's good doesn't mean that they automatically take them back. They've also got Grealish and Foden for now. So it's unlikely that they would want to replace one of those with Borges for a while, unless we have an absolute world beater on our hands. Then you have the fact that some buyback clauses often aren't active until a couple of years down the line, so you would have time with that player, and most are for around £40 million upwards. So very worst case scenario, if we look at that, we get a player that is so good that City want him back for their first team, and we make a profit of 30 odd million after he helps improve our performances and pushes us up the Premier League. So it's obviously not ideal having that buyback clause because we want permanent players that are going to be part of the long future. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean if he just plays half decent games that he'll be taken back by Man City. So how would we feel about Borges being our first signing of the transfer window? Would you be as happy with him as you would have been with Barnes? Let us know in the comments. There's certainly a lot to think about. And after the disappointment of obviously looking as though we've lost out on Barnes, I'm actually quite excited about the prospect of Borges at West Ham. Up second, Hegyi has gone out on loan to Stevenage. This is a move that should be mutually beneficial as it will get him some game time and help the 20-year-old to continue improving. He seems to be hardworking and he was called up by the Hungarian national team, having not yet had the chance to play for West Ham's first team. Getting more experience can only be a good thing for Hegyi because this will allow him to hopefully compete with the likes of Anang and Nathan Trott, who's currently out on loan. Could we see any of them play in the Premier League? That is the question. It definitely looks as though there's work to be done on all fronts. So here's wishing Hegyi all the best at Stevenage, and it will be good to see how he progresses. And like I said, I think this move will be mutually beneficial. He gets game time, Stevenage get a decent goalkeeper. And last but not least, we couldn't not talk about it. Every time you forget Payet and you just get him off your mind, he somehow ends up clogging up social media. So his contract to Marseille has been terminated with immediate effect, leaving him available as a free agent. From anyone that hasn't seen it, there was a rather emotional press conference where you can see an image here where Payet was clearly upset about it. Once again, calls for Payet to return to East London are happening as people wonder how he could potentially benefit the side, especially as a squad player. I can't lie. I really don't think we should let him anywhere near the club again, if I'm honest. I would expect he'd want high wages. He's 36 years old. Last season, he scored 4 goals and got 3 assists in 24 games, which is a significant decline from his days at West Ham and the good old times that we do remember. And at a time where we're all desperate for us to build towards a positive future and invest in youth and try and bring the average age of our squad down, I'm not convinced that re-signing a 36-year-old Payet is the answer to our problems. It's just, I don't know, it's always split opinion, hasn't it, in terms of whether you take him back for what he's capable of. Whether he's still even capable of it is now the question that I actually have. And it's kind of like going back to an ex. You know you're still going to have the problems there, in my opinion. Plus, now he's all old and stuff, so nobody wants that. So I don't think he's a long-term option that is actually going to benefit us, but the discussions are happening. So he definitely has the fan base torn, with some saying that they would like to see his return, and others saying they think it's a horrific move. I think it's probably on the horrific side, but let us know which side of the fence you're on. Obviously, we know that he is talented from set pieces. We're also looking at James Ward-Prowse this transfer window, who we know as well is good with set pieces, but would offer a lot more than Payet could in obviously different positions. So let us know which side of the fence you're on. Would you like to see Payet back at West Ham? Big question. Everyone's very opinionated one way or the other. So let us know what you think. So there you have it. Those are your Hammers headlines for today. We're finally starting to hear more positive news of signings towards the final stages, and we've never needed it more. It looks as though work is being done in the background. It's just a matter of getting some of them over the line. The ones that are being spoken about at the moment definitely look very positive. Can we get one over the line before the end of the week? Here's hoping we can, because it would give us another thing to smile about, as well as it being the weekend. Make sure you're subscribed to West Ham Network. Give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, let us know your thoughts on today's headlines by leaving us a cheeky little comment down below. And have the best start to the weekend. Most importantly, thank you so much for watching, as always. And until next time, have a great one. Come on, you Irons.